Hi guys, welcome to the Citizen channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well. Please, if you are new to this channel, please push that subscribe button. We do everything City, past and present here on these little vlogs, so I do try and inform and entertain, and there's some links on screen as well for Facebook and Twitter where I do post loads of City stuff. So if you follow a friend me on there, I do check every few days and follow and friend everyone back. And if you do get a chance, please have a check out my film and TV channel as well, which I try and inform and entertain on there, and all the latest films and TV drama here in the UK and from around the world. So if you can check that out, that will be fantastic. Anyway, hope you enjoy today's feature. Welcome to the match report as we look back at a game at the Etihad on the 21st of September 2021, a third round of the Carabao Cup. It's our Carabao Cup, it's nobody else's, and it still is at the moment, isn't it? Yes, Manchester City 6, Wycombe Wanderers 1. We always like a 6-1, don't we? And it seems fitting that the Wycombe badges are a chain swan. There's a lot of stories behind that, but perhaps we'll touch upon that on a history vlog or something else one day. So yeah, Pep versus Gareth. Interesting lineup. Interesting game. Great game in many thoughts. To be honest with you, because of the City lineup, I won't go say too much about my predicted lineup. I think I got three. I got 3 right out of 11. I think that's the worst I've ever done in over 2 years of doing these. So, hey, there you go. But I don't think anyone can really blame me, can they, for that last night, not getting the lineup right. Right, here we go. It was Stefan in goal, a back four of Egan Riley, Burns and Betty, Wilson Esprand. I think Lavia was our DM. KD, and then it got a bit normal, didn't it? But I did expect KDB and Foden to get minutes. They need it in the legs. People were asking why, but I think that was probably. I'm not going to question Pep, but definitely right decision. KDB, Foden, Sterling, Torres and Mahrez, of course. Not so many surprises with the main guys who were playing. Opponents, yeah, they were all right. Obviously, I didn't predict the opponent's lineup, so I'm not going to go on great shakes on that way. Obviously, Akin Fenway, whatever he's called, is the only one that's familiar to me from actually watching a bit of Championship football over the years. Who was in charge? Well, I don't think he did a very good job, did he? I won't mark him, but I thought it was pretty awful, to be honest with you. But no surprise there with referees, is it? That's Robert Jones was in charge. His lineals with Darren Cant and Adrian Holmes. Of course, I don't think there was any VAR last night. Fourth official, Martin Atkinson. On to the match itself. Yeah, just a quick summary. Quick summary. 16. I'm recording this the morning after. I'm still tired, lads. 6 teenagers made their debut overall, which was a lovely sight to see. 10 changes to the Saints game. Yes, Pep is back, isn't he? This is our old Pep. This is the Pep we like, where we make 8, 9, 10, 11 changes in a game. But yeah, all right. I did expect it, but not quite the way Pep did it. It's interesting enough, wasn't it? Pre-season, you think back to those friendly games against Burnley and Blackpool, not Burnley, Preston, wasn't it? Blackpool and someone else. We didn't seem to have much cover in defence because all the defence was experienced players. If you know, so the back four was always experienced. So I thought, well, he's not got any he can rely on to stick into the first team for this cup competition. So I think that's what threw me a little bit. The fact he did go for experience, and obviously all the young lads were in midfield and up front. If you think about those friendly games. So it's really weird. So over 2 months later, how things have changed, obviously. And there was a Papa John's game, wasn't it? I know we were getting beaten that. I think we may have got beaten that. I'm not too sure. But obviously had that to think about. People complain about Delap, but of course, Delap had only literally played about 45 minutes football. So it wasn't going to throw him on last night. I don't think there's any chance of that. But Pep was forced to make these changes, and say, on reflection, if you think about it, I mean, rather than put a couple of old heads in and a couple of young heads in at the back, why not stick with the guys who've probably done it at that level, used to each other? So that was very clever of Pep, and it worked. It works absolutely fine. Obviously, with the defensive midfielder. And if you think of that back four and the defensive midfielder, the squad numbers totaled up to a total of 416 in total, that back four and the DM. So that was bold. I think that was bold from Pep, and it worked out. Who are we to doubt Pepe? I'm sure going forward to the next 2 or 3 games, he won't let us down. There you go. So yeah, that was a bold move, even allowing for the opposition. I mean, don't forget they're very physical. These Championship teams, First Division teams, which what Wycombe are at the moment, of course, very physical. And to put the young lads he trusted, and that was great. And obviously, I like the way Stefan did behind them as well. I think he was well suited to having those guys in front of him. To be honest, he looked far more confident last night than I've seen him playing for City before, Stefan. But we'll get onto that in the player ratings, won't we? But it was nice to see that they all worked for each other. When they scored a goal, they all celebrated together, both the young and the old. So I think it was great. I think that was a great game to be at and to watch. I mean, Wycombe tried very hard, but they were sort of ripped open time and time again, which you could probably envisage with that midfield and sort of strike force that we had out last night. But they couldn't really cope with City's 50-50, could they? Couldn't really cope with half a first team and half our under-21 side or under-23 side, whichever they qualify for these days. So, yeah, overall, very entertaining game. I really enjoyed it there. All right. Wish there'd been perhaps a few more there, but I thought the crowd was all right. Atmosphere was terrific, I thought it was superb. You got the usual from the Wycombe Wanderers fans, but I think overall, at least, we stood our ground and probably outsang them when it came to it, which is fair enough, because we were very quiet second half. I thought they were a bit lively. You usually go at half time, have another beer or two, and then you come back and you're bouncing for the second half, especially when you're losing. But obviously, perhaps that's a City thing. Perhaps we're a bit more loud when we're losing than other teams are, but yeah, great atmosphere from all credit to Wycombe. Probably brought at least probably what they get for a home game, half of what they get for a home game last night. And I thought City fans were excellent last night. No tongue in cheek there. The fans that were there last night, I thought were excellent. Right, the stats, 22 minutes for Wycombe. It was 1-0 for them, of course. A corner not really cleared, was it? And it did lead to a tap-in for Hanlon, but it looked, say there's no VAR, but it looked fine. There's no doubt about offside. So they enjoyed that briefly. Obviously, 29 minutes of great work by slaloming Foden. I can't say that this morning. Who picked out KDB, who sort of shot across the goal and into the net, didn't he? That was excellent. Sterling and Mahrez both hit the post, I think, after that. 43 minutes, Esbrand teed up Mahrez brilliantly, who sort of scored from 10 yards. 46 minutes, a Foden rocket. Yeah, Foden rocket. The keeper got his hand to it, but he couldn't do anything with it. Perhaps he could have done better. I'm not too sure. I mean, it was a brilliant effort by Foden and on target, and that's all we can ask. But of course, it smacked the back of the net. That was 3-1 at half time. Into the second half, 71 minutes, more brilliant Foden work, and Torres led to a cross the keeper, just in front of the keeper, so he couldn't do anything about it to allow Torres to come and tap it in. That was up our end. They played different ends this time. They played towards the south stand for the second half, City, which I always prefer, but they never usually do that, do they? 83 minutes, Mahrez made it 5-1, although he appeared to slightly scuff it to me. I thought it was going wide when he first made contact with it from my angle in the south stand, but it sort of looked good on telly. It looked as though it was deliberate, but I'm not overly sure whether it was or not, to be honest with you. 88 minutes, cracking Palmer effort. Again, goalie beaten. Could he have done better? It was a great effort. I think the goalie had time to do a little bit better with it, but you can't take anything away from Palmer. The key stats, 26 shots for City, of which 14 were on target. Hey, we can do that every week. We'd be happy, wouldn't we? Wycombe 12 shots, 4 on target, so a good fist of it made from Wycombe. City's possession was 79%, nothing unusual there. Pass accuracy, I think this sort of was the difference between the teams. 91% for City, which is amongst the highest that we ever do, and 59% for Wycombe. So obviously that sort of tells you the difference, the gulfing class, if you like. Right, the player ratings, here we go. Mr. Stuart Brennan and my own little ratings. I'll give you Stuart's description. My ratings today, I'm going to give a minimum of 7 as my standard score. So if they play better than 7, they'll get a better than 7. And if they play worse, they'll get less than 7. And there are a couple of players who got less than 7. I'll tell you that now. I'm not sure how Stuart Brennan works his ratings out. But it took me a little while to get used to some of the young lads. I've not watched the match back. So I was sort of looking for numbers and then thinking, who's that number? And was he all right? So bear with me as we go through this. It's quite unusual. So actually, it was better having them defending the south stand than in the first half. At least it gave me a chance to get used to what they looked like, how big they were, and what they were, etc. So that was good in a way. Right, we'll start with Zach Stephan. Stuart says, point blank save to deny a beater and keep it 3-1, but little else to do. His 2 best saves were from offside players. Well, he still made the saves, didn't he? Stuart's only given us 6. I thought he's been mean. As I said, I think he was very confident last night. I think that fed through to the lads in front of him, and I think he looked right at home. I don't want him to play for under 23s week in, week out, but he certainly looked well settled with that defence for me. So I give him a 7. I thought he's got to be at least standard, all right, nothing fantastic, but he did a good, steady job. Conrad Egan Riley Stewart says positive and neat, and by the end of the game was playing like a veteran. Stewart's given him a 7. I can't give many of the young lads any 7. I'm going to give him an extra half point because as a unit, I thought they were excellent. So I'm going to give him a 7.5. Conrad Egan Riley Stewart's given him a 7. Finlay burns every inch of Guardiola defender, says Stewart, as he strode out of defence and he battled hard as well. Yeah, absolutely. This is what we sort of teach it from that level, don't we? Stuart's given him a 7. Again, I thought outstanding considering the circumstances. I'll even allow him for the opposition. So I'm going to give him a 7.5. Luke and Betty Stewart says, strong, commanding and consummate passer of the ball 3 days after his 18th birthday. Star in the making. He's given him an 8. I can't disagree with that. He's one of the guys I noticed more last night. He was the best of a talented young bunch who started the game, in my opinion, or not, well, the best on the night. I'm not going to say overall he's the best, but of the guys who started the game, excellent. Josh Wilson, Esbrand Stewart said, hesitant start, but he's raised down the left for a big part of City's best work and claimed an assist for Mahrez. Yeah, a lot of thought of this with this left back thing, isn't it? Stewart's given him a 7. Again, yeah, I give him a 7.5. I noticed him not as marauding down the left as perhaps our normal left backs would that Pep has, but hey, given the circumstances, I thought he had an excellent game. I didn't really know much about the guy, but a lot of people are hoping that he's going to be a natural sort of left back for us, but I think that's a little bit away yet, to be honest with you. Romeo Lavia, clearly likes to tackle, a little bit, and passes over the top through the lines with Fernandinho-esque. He's given a 7. I must admit, I've only given him a 7. I was never going to give him a 7.5, but he just has to learn how to foul a little bit subtly. He doesn't. He's a bit obvious with his fouls. Just be a bit more subtle. But but he did put himself about, and I will give him the 7, which is possibly one of the lowest of the new lads. But I can't be all lovey-dovey all the time, can I? Kevin De Bruyne, Stewart says, not at his sharpest. He wasn't, so still too good for this opposition, scoring his first goal of the season. But Stewart's just given him a 6. He's a bit mean tonight, Stewart, to be honest with you. Obviously, probably allowing for the opposition, but you can only play what's in front of you, as you say. So I'll give Kevin a standard 7. He worked really hard as well, and he got up and down and stuff, and I think that hopefully he didn't feel any ill effects, and it all bodes well for the future. Phil Foden shoots are quite staggering in the first half and ended with 2 assists and a thunderous goal to remind Pep of his sheer quality. So he's given him an 8. I can't go against that. He was out on the night. He was probably head and shoulders even above people like KDB. Sort of almost enjoyed playing with younger lads. I think he loved the responsibility as well. I think that was excellent at Phil Foden. Yeah, so Stuart's given an 8. I'm not going to argue with that. Riyad Mahrez took a while to get going, says Stuart, but then hit the post and bagged a couple of goals. Yeah, well, I'll give him a 7.5 for the fact he did bag a couple of goals, but without goals, he possibly could have got a 6. I don't think he was that active enough throughout the game, to be honest with you. So I am going to give him a 7.5, but without the goals, possibly a bit less. But hey, what can you say? If he gets the goals, it's okay, isn't it? Ferran Torres, Stewart says, not having a great time in front of goal, he isn't, so his tapping will be a boost. Yeah, it was a tapping. Stewart's given him a 6. Again, I've given him the first one of the night, the first one less than a 7. I've given him a 6.5. I know, considering what was on the pitch, he looked a little bit out of it. I thought, obviously, he should, nice goal. I would have probably scored him a 6. I give him half a point for a goal, but not quite enough overall. I think even allowing for a goal, he didn't impose himself enough in this. As I say, certainly not won a place for the Chelsea game, that's for sure. Though we may not have that many options. Raheem Sterling, Stewart said, doing plenty right on approach, but coming apart the seams whenever he gets near goal. Stewart's given him a 6. Sadly, he gets my lowest mark of the night as well. I give him a 6. I think what he needs to do is get the ball. When he's actually successfully created a bit of space or he's beat a man, I think he needs to start to be laying off and then trying to replace himself and just give himself some confidence. He's holding on to that ball just far too long, and it's not really working when he carries it. That's his game, of course it is, but perhaps he has to recharge his batteries, have a rethink about his game. And obviously Pep will be advising him and telling him to, keep doing the things, but I think he needs to take a step back and be a little less, get into a space, create a space, and look for a man rather than trying to carry it too much. That's my opinion. I mean, obviously Pep and the coaches know far better than me, but that's just what I think Raheem Sterling needs to do, because I'm sorry, this is painful to watch at the moment. So anyway, so Stuart give him a 6, I give him a 6. We could probably have a whole vlog on Raheem at the moment, couldn't we? On to the substitutes. Yeah, Cole Palmer, he wasn't on long enough for me to mark, but excellent goal, fantastic goal at the end, as I said. All right, goal, he may have done better. He came on for Torres on 72 minutes. So Stuart's given him a 7, which is all right, a bit wild for Stuart tonight. And obviously he's not been scoring very highly, but there you go. But yeah, a bit not on long enough for my basic mark. He's got to be on at least half an hour for me, but good little cameo. And James McAtee for Wilson Esperand on 72. He was asked to play left back, so why not? We've seen been quite impressed with McAtee pre-season. Stuart's given him a 6, which is probably standard score anyway, but I can't say I won't mark him anyway, but it's a little cameo. So now our overall record against the 6 Swans is played 5. And we've now evened it. We've evened it up. We've won 2 and lost 2 and drawn 1. So we've actually evened the score, thankfully. We haven't got that over us anymore. We've scored 11 goals to their 4, so that's not too bad, is it? How about Wycombe going forward? No shame, of course, no shame for Wycombe, who can be proud of their trip. Of course, they loved the goal, they enjoyed it, they celebrated it in front of the fans. That's how it should be. They were physical, perhaps a bit much, little bit too much, but not too. It's what you expect. I'm not going to whinge over it. They've come to the Premier League team. They want to put it about a bit. I sort of always liked Akin Fenwer, to be honest with you, and I watched him on telly, but I didn't like him last night. I mean, I didn't give him a stand. I don't know. I mean, perhaps I'm a mean oldie. I don't know, but I didn't give him a standing ovation. I didn't like the way he played last night, to be honest with you. I just thought it was an insult to football. And I'm probably on my own with that, and people might object, but he's 39. But I just don't, I just wanted to see a little bit more from him. I thought at 39, I just thought it was a bit over the top. And all right, he's not going to give any quarter, but again, against young lads, he was trying to bully him, in my opinion, and that's just my opinion. So, yeah, obviously he's not got long left in it. It's great for him to play at a place like the Etihad, of course it is. But yeah, I'm not going to go mad over him, to be honest with you. But I was reminded of many parks I've played across in Manchester and Stockport over the many years ago. Obviously, that I just thought he was that type of player, and I never got that from watching him on TV. I thought he was quite clever, and perhaps he's his age, perhaps he's obviously, but against young lads as well. I mean, he probably is sort of not over his level. So yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go on too much about it, but no, I wasn't impressed. That's just me. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, with Sunderland and Wigan, of course, in League One, they have to be aiming for a playoff spot, don't they? They're certainly capable of that. I can certainly see them finishing in the top, however many is it, 6 to get into that playoff position. Obviously, I don't think they're going to get promotion as such, but yeah, I think they'll still remain positive after that last night. I don't think there's any reason not to be honest with you. So they'll be happy with that. As far as us, well, the kids didn't let us down, did they? All 5 who started, plus the 2 who came on that we know a bit more about anyway, with a credit to the academy. And as I said, I did thoroughly enjoy it. What also was nice, I think, was how they coped with the physicality, which there was. And I think that's why they put these kids in the Papa John's trophy, don't they, to get them used to that physicality as well. They don't always get that at that level they play, obviously, in the leagues. I think Pep's mentioned that as well. But yeah, I don't think we'll see as many again. I think Pep's hand was forced a little bit last night. He sort of went against it, but he did the right thing, as I said, playing more or less the defence of the guys who played together regular. Absolutely brilliant. I never even thought of it till the game started and watched them. I thought, yeah, of course it was logical. I mean, sometimes your brain doesn't kick in, does it? But I was just so overly shocked by the team he picked in the first place. But there you go. And it was a great run out, great for the kids. Before I leave that, yeah, just fantastic. I think they did us proud, and they did the academy proud, and all credit to them. As I say, I'm sure we'll see 1, 2, or 3 over the next few months as well. A good run out for KDB and Foden. As I said, I think that was a good decision by Pep. A lot of people didn't think it was. I thought it was. I mean, if KDB is going to break down last night, he's going to break down in a big game. So just get him those minutes in his legs, make sure he's okay. And for Foden, it'll give him the extra confidence. That was a brilliant run out for Foden, of course. Obviously, if he'd played rubbish, it wouldn't have been, but he didn't, did he? He played fantastic. So there you go. But the problem is, we're still not sorted Mahrez and Sterling out. Mahrez, though, despite scoring a couple of goals, wasn't great. Sterling, as I said, I've spoke about him in the player ratings there. And Torres has not forced his way at the forefront of our thinking. If he managed to get, he got a goal last night, but again, he struggled a little bit last night. And I wasn't surprised at those three players. Actually, it's not quite happening for him at the moment. And of course, if Pep does get some players back, I can't see any of those three playing unless you have to say the most likely probably is Torres. I think Torres might get a start, but I don't really want to see Sterling anywhere near it. I say Mahrez can come back. Of course he can. He had a great start to the season, even in friendlies. But as soon as he got to the Community Shield, he sort of started going back in his shell again. But they certainly didn't work their way back into Pep's thinking for the Chelsea game anyway. But we'll talk about that, won't we, in the next couple of days when we do the Chelsea preview. But excellent. I hope you enjoyed it anyway, if you went there last night. And I managed to catch up with a couple of guys. So, great. Not too bad. Can't complain. Voice isn't too bad this morning. There's plenty of shouting and singing, but it's not too bad. A nice cup of tea, that sort of oiled it this morning. Anyway, thanks for watching. We've got all the Chelsea build-up on the channel, so don't miss that. Of course, we've got the Odds Show. We've got the History Show. We go back to 1990, a game at the Bridge with Howard Kendall in charge of City and Bobby Campbell, a name that sort of had to think about a minute to remember who he was in charge of Chelsea. And of course, don't forget my full match preview where I try and have a look and predict the teams, which would be interesting. See who's injured, who's not injured, and I try and predict Chelsea's team as well. That's always a good laugh for you. So join me for the preview as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. What are you going to do this day? Have a great one. Look after yourselves, look after your friends, look after your families. More important, let's all look after each other. To me here again on the Citizen channel. Or perhaps you flit across, have a look at my film and TV channel. Don't have a rest from football at any time. Please have a look on there. Try and inform and entertain in my own little way on there as well. All I ever ask, guys, please stay safe, Blues. Come on, City. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.
Tonight is the start of our defence of the Carabao Cup. It gives me great pleasure to welcome out the two teams. Please welcome into the home and woes, our visitors, Wycombe Wanderers. And please give a big blue welcome to the current Premier League champions and current holders of the Carabao Cup, our boys in blue, Manchester City!